So there was some Indian farmers who got into some trouble recently after they noticed their buffaloes were acting weird. And so they called like a vet to check it out. They're like, what's going on with our buffalo? Buffaloes had like their mouth was frothing. They're like,
oh shit,
behaving oddly, like moving strangely.
They're junkie buffaloes.
The junkies for sure.
That's exactly what happened.
They were on drugs?
They got into meth.
They were drunk.
Oh shit, drunk?
So the buffaloes got into, the farmers were doing an illegal, they were making liquor.
Oh, like what do you... Moonshine? Yeah, moonshine? Then they turned them into fucking Buffalo Wagyu?
So there was water. They had water in a trough, right? That was hiding moonshine bottles, and the buffalo were drinking from the water and getting all fucked up, and the farmers didn't know that the bottles were leaking into the trough.
I like how they ratted on themselves.
Wow.
They're like, can you come over and check out my oven? It's broken, and they open, there's just fucking cocaine. Oh, shit.
That's where we put it.
That's so.
Ignore that.
Whose moonshine is that?
Just ignore this part of it.
I want to try eating water buffalo. That's a Wagyu.
Wagyu buffalo?
Don't they make pho like out of water buffalo in Vietnam?
Really?
Have you tried
They
it?
have beef.
Isn't that just ox?
Yeah, it's ox.
Like ox?
Yeah.
Oxtail?
Oxtail soup?
They say it's oxtail, but that's just cow tail, dude.
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
like how shark fin soup is just a fucking trout
Not a
butt.
real ox.
Trout butt.
Shark fin soup's not real shark fin?
Yeah.
Like how most of the tuna we eat nowadays isn't tuna?
They be scamming people with that shit.
I better get a real fucking shark fin.
What about bird's nest? The bird's nest is not real bird's nest?
There's no pine cones in it.
Fuck.
You know what's so gross about bird's nest? It's just vomited bird.
Why is it so sweet?
It's bird saliva. Well, that's the rock sugar that they
That's
put in
what
there.
bird's nest is?
Yeah.
It's just the texture, dude. Like, I don't know how they even found this. It's you got to go to a cave in Southeast Asia to get the bird's nest, right? Who the fuck realized that you go into this cave, you get this fucking bird's nest, you boil it, and you make soup out of it?
The same guy that figured out you make coffee out of bat shit. You ever seen
Wait,
that?
what?
Yeah.
I had weasel poop coffee.
Yeah,
In
that
Vietnam.
stuff. With the weasels.
Yeah.
Yeah, they eat the coffee beans, and then when they process it and they shit it out, that's what you make the coffee out of, and it's more flavorful.
You ever had booger salad before? that's
What region?
Arlington, Virginia.
I haven't heard a booger in a long time.
That sounds like the white people stuff.
Interesting.
Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah, Arlington, Virginia, yeah. That's where it originated from.
With the right amount of mayo, it tastes pretty good.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
The way you delivered that, bro, that was good.
I just saw a bunch of dudes in like overall shirtless, just in a line going over a Caesar salad.
They're dressed as chefs, actually.
Yeah, there's some dignity involved. Come on.
Come on, man.
Have you guys tried making your own moonshine?
No.
My dad was making it.
How do you make your own moonshine? What are
he
the
had a
steps?
whole fucking what was like
Same
a
thing without the
dispenser
barrel.
with herbs and
So you
it looked like a
you
carrot.
ferment it.
Yeah,
In your house?
in the house. Yeah,
Smells pretty bad, yeah.
it is. I mean, it was.
If you're making
covered.
beer or alcohol,
It's pretty much you just ferment
like
it, but you don't
kombucha.
age it in like a barrel or anything like that, right? It's like you're just extracting the alcohol content post like fermentation of the grain.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very scientific.
describe it perfectly. And he's like, is that it? Yeah, cool.
My bad, Encarta.
Just wanted to make sure that you guys were on my page. You know what I mean? If you want some moonshine, come
I
over.
wish I
There.
could enjoy alcohol.
That's your true
business.
I am planning on trying to figure out how to make some moonshine soon. I'm
You
not
should
gonna lie.
make
Not lying.
Kinja tequila or something, or like
Are you incriminating yourself right now?
Why moonshine, Anthony Lee?
Because that's a step right before whiskey, and I want to make some whiskey.
And
Oh, is that
whiskey's
it?
right before meths. I gotcha.
Yeah, moonshine's a gateway drug to meth and prostitutes.
Wait, what's the difference between moonshine and all these other alcohols? Is
Like
it just
whiskey?
homemade?
Yeah,
Because
moonshine.
isn't different alcohol made from different plants, right?
Are we talking about like alcohol in general?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
tequila is made from the cactus,
Yeah.
or like
Sake,
sake is made out of rice.
Yeah.
So like or what?
So I believe when something is mainly a whiskey, because moonshine is the predecessor to like whiskey, right?
So what's
You, like,
whiskey made out of? Like
whiskey is moonshine,
barley
but
or-
after it's like distilled and aged.
Oh,
Yeah, does that make
The
sense?
moonshine is made out of, what is whiskey made out of?
It's exactly so
Like
it's
wheat?
either like wheat, grain, rye, barley, like all that stuff. And so you would do the same thing to make whiskey, but before the distilling part and the aging in a barrel, it's just the alcoholic content before you do any of that, and that's like the moonshine.
It could be 190 proof.
Exactly.
Holy
So whiskey will happen like
could die.
legally after you like distill it in water in a barrel, and then it comes out at like 80 proof.
So that's like
but
rubbing
moonshine is
alcohol?
like the pure like right away kind of content of it.
So what do you do? Mix it with other things?
You don't even mix it. It's disgusting. You drink it straight because the reason why moonshine was originally coming out was because people weren't like creating whiskey businesses and whatnot. They were like doing it in their fucking bathtubs and whatnot during Prohibition.
bathtub.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
What about gin? Where does gin come from?
a different plant.
What about what's jungle juice? What's that?
That's a bunch of like college kids that take a fuck ton of random
like
alcohol they can
fruit
afford
punch.
and putting it in a cooler.
Pineapple juice,
got it,
fucking
got it,
peaches and shit, vodka, everything.
Wine cooler,
Kool-Aid, Capri Sun, vodka,
malt liquor,
I've always heard jungle juice, and I was like, what is that?
Goldschlager.
and then they put candy in, right?
Yeah.
What's a adios? What is that?
Adios, amigo.
Those are just random drinks. But moonshine is like, I feel like it's not just a drink, it's like a culture.
Why is it illegal?
Illegal?
It's super high proof, right?
It's you can't be like selling a like 190 proof alcohol.
It's legal to make it for yourself.
I think so. For yourself, I think so.
Really?
They have legal moonshine now. Like they have that one company that does moonshine.
Maybe it depends on the state.
Old Smoky. These cats. You seen
Can you
this?
even
I've
drink?
seen that.
Can you drink moonshine straight up without dying?
I think this one you can.
No one ever has.
My dad was making his own rice moonshine.
Yeah, I think it's different when like
This is 100%
Asian people definitely be doing that stuff too. I don't know if you call it moonshine though, because I feel like moonshine is more culturally associated with like.
Appalachian people?
Darker than orange necks.
When I think of moonshine, I think about hillbillies during the Great Depression making
That's what I'm
that
saying.
shit.
I feel like it's like
and then the
culturally-
mafia coming over and buying that shit and like moonshine running.
Whereas like old Asian people fermenting like rice in a certain way, I think
Yeah.
that's like synonymous to like a cousin of kimchi. It's like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Becomes alcoholic.
Rice moonshine.
But it's like rice wine, sake.
It's like sake, right?
Oh, it's like
rice.
rice as well.
Really?
Yeah.
What about vodka then? What did
Potatoes.
Oh, potatoes?
Potatoes?
I think it's
Vodka's
potatoes.
made out of potatoes?
I think so.
Maybe, I think so, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
So everything's made out of like carbs of the world.
Yeah.
What about
'Cause the
corn?
sugars, right?
How do you
Corn,
make?
corn also is a huge proponent in things like whiskey and moonshine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because don't you need some sort of like sugar content for it to?
That's why you
produce
need
alcohol?
carb. Yeah, that's why you need carb.
What about
to
rum?
ferment.
Yeah.
What's rum?
It's like sugary, right?
Like sugar cane?
I don't know.
It might be, yeah, it might be sugar cane.
This is quite educational. I had no idea.
I wish I knew.
How come moonshine labels always have 3 X's at the front?
Because you're gonna die if you drink too much, bro.
I see.
Because it makes you feel sexy.
Rum is sugar cane.
I want to sell
Sugar cane.
alcohol.
Everyone's doing it.
Everyone's doing.
You make a lot of money.
George Clooney's doing it.
The Rock has it.
Dan Aykroyd's doing it.
I'll never
Oh yeah,
get high.
he's got
Crystal Skull vodka.
Yeah, dude. He says it's like the best fucking vodka in the world, of course.
You know whose tequila is pretty good? I was like hating on it at first. I think is it Kylie Jenner's?
Oh, she got in trouble for that, yeah?
Yeah.
It's good?
It's pretty good.
Really?
Appropriation or something.
Why 818 is like, don't do it because that's the culture of Armenia?
You can't make a tequila.
I don't think you can.
I think it's because so many people like jumping on the alcoholic social influencer bandwagon to make alcohol, and most of the time it's tequila, and so people are kind of calling out virtual, just the social justice wars.
Because like only Mexicans.
Yeah,
should
it's
do
like not
tequila.
authentic. You're kind of going down there and you're like, you're appropriating the culture just because you have the power, the money, and the ability to.
You need to make
Yeah.
a Kinja's Michelada mix.
That just sounds like so many.
Dude.
If you make Irish whiskey though, guess what? I'm coming at you, bro.
And he's gonna fight you like this, dude.
Just have to, if you appropriate enough different things, then everyone's too confused to get
Whiskey's
mad.
different though, because whiskey right now is the number one whiskeys in the world are from Japan. Right now.
Suntory, right?
It's actually the Yamazaki.
Oh, Yamazaki, yeah.
Yamazaki.
How come the Irish aren't
Christina
going after the
Yamaguchi, yeah.
Japanese?
Because first of all, whiskey comes from Scotland.
And how come the Scottish people aren't going after the samurai?
Because the Irish are too busy fighting each other.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what's the difference between whiskey and the other one?
Bourbon.
Cognac or bourbon? Oh,
Bourbon.
Bourbon.
is it the way that the barrels are? Like, I don't know.
Bourbon is only legally able to be made in America. It can't be called bourbon if it's not made in America.
What?
But isn't it the same
And,
process? or
and
something?
bourbon, I believe, has to have 51% wheat.
Is that
at
the
least.
same thing as like child labor, where it's only like that called that in China?
Oh, right.
'Cause anywhere else you can't call it child labor or something.
That's fucking good, man.
It's called an internship.
That's good, man.
It's just kid work.
Yeah, it's kid work. Yeah.
That's the
It's like helping out the
phrase.
family, you know?
Yeah,
like,
dude. Do your
Yeah,
part.
but like bourbon, you can only make it in America.
No, it's called internships.
Yeah.
It's like champagne, only from that part of France.
Oh my god.
Really, champagne?
Only from Champagne,
right.
France.
That's why it's called champagne,
Well,
yeah.
if it's not champagne, what is it? Sparkly goods?
Oh, sparkling
Sparkly
wine.
good. Sparkly good.
Bubbly alcohol.
Wait, sparkling wine is just champagne, and vice versa.
Prosecco.
I thought it was sparkly white wine.
But it has
Is
to
that
be from
champagne?
France.
Oh, I don't know.
And you can only drink with orange juice.
Has to be from Champagne, France.
Which is also why if you see whiskey with an E, it's from Ireland. If you see it without an E, it's from anywhere else probably.
Wow. So the Japanese ones have no E in
The
it.
original whiskey was made in Scotland, right? So Scotch is Scottish whiskey. If it's called a Scotch, it's whiskey from Scotland, right? So original whiskey's there, and then they put an E in the whiskey right before the Y as a marketing tool for Irish whiskey when Ireland first made it. Because there's only 5 main areas I think that make whiskey, which is like Canada, America, Japan, Ireland, and Scotland.
This dude knows everything about
Man,
alcohol.
you know a lot.
Four Loko made in
Crazy.
Scotland?
Why are you pretending in the beginning of the video like, oh yeah, you do this and this, right? And that's how you get. You fucking know everything.
You
dude.
fucking nerd, bro. You alcohol nerd.
I didn't know if anybody had more correct answers.
You fucking know everything about alcohol, dude.
Only whiskey.
He's like naming the region where it's from, like how it originated.
By the way, Jose Cuervo. This is Jose Cuervo. The inventor of the tequila.
I've seen him before.
He's the guy. No, he knows the blockchain.
He's the crypto guy.
I heard Japanese whiskey was really good because the process is so precise and like it's so tedious that it just worked out for the
Japanese.
yeah because they'll deal with the tedious shit.
Yeah, they don't
They're good
fuck
at that.
around.
The Japanese people, they specifically like, you know how they're like really about like the discipline of the culture. They like went to Scotland and learned from Scottish masters, and then they spent like generations perfecting. But then they also got the fucking a lot of it comes down to the water. So they got the spring water in northern Japan that
that
is just
makes
like
sense.
fucking like.
Here he goes again, spouting off more fucking facts, dude.
And he's still pretending like you don't know.
He's like, yeah, this is what I heard.
His gestures are still like, I guess.
He's like, yeah, they use rainwater and they collect it in a metal pan, but I don't know how it's made.
And that's all I know.
Damn, yeah.
Don't ask me any more questions.
I don't
But if
fucking
you have more
know.
questions, I will answer them.
I don't have anything. This it has something to do with the gravity, how it pulls the water and the minerals and it mixes. I don't know anything.
It's the whole thing. I don't know.
He had the body language of someone that's just gonna say one thing, but yet verbally it's like the entire Encarta 1998.
We're all like Alex Jones on Joe Rogan, and you're Joe Rogan, and we're like, so you do know this shit. He knows everything. He says he doesn't know this shit.